Yes, everybody, welcome aboard to United People's TV. I'm excited about Erik Ten Hag. I know the deal's not done. I'm not here saying that he is Manchester United's manager yet, but there has been significant movement in the last 24 hours with regards to Ten Hag and Manchester United. And what I want to do in this video is run through it all for you so you can completely understand where the stories have come from. Is there any truth to them? Yeah, there's a lot of truth to them. He has been interviewed, but I'll explain the story, where it started, how it's developed over the last 24 hours, so you know exactly what's going on with Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United. Before I do begin, please would you consider going down there and just hitting that subscribe button. It would make the world of difference to me at United People's TV. You know, it will show that you actually enjoy the content as well. Hit the notification bell too. But let's get straight into this one and let's talk about everybody's favourite Baldy. No, I'm not talking about Pep Guardiola because no one likes him. The story started last night, really, from Konstantin Eckner, who is a very reliable German journalist. And when he was asked about Erik Ten Hag, this is what he had to say. He said that Ten Hag is the number one target. The compensation fee is not an issue. Manchester United want to make the signing as soon as possible to start planning the new season. Ten Hag is already preparing for Manchester United. Now, Man United might want to get it done as soon as possible. Ajax are still in a title race. I think if we can agree a deal in principle, then that could conceivably be done. Hopefully that can be done, and that's what we're all waiting for. Hopefully by the end of March. Ideally, the sooner the better. Then we can start planning for next summer. But there's no real word about the interview until last night on the back page of the Daily Mail, with Chris Wheeler and Sammy Motball reporting exclusively that Ten Hag held an interview with Manchester United. They were the first ones to break it. Fair play to you guys. They were the first ones to break it. Everybody followed suit after. Let's run through that and when it happened. And starting with Fabrizio Romano. He's saying that Manchester United have indeed interviewed Erik Ten Hag. The meeting took place this week. Manchester United were happy with his English level, but the final decision will involve many factors, and the board will interview other candidates too. Now, I personally think that Pochettino will get interviewed. I sent a tweet out about that, and people immediately disagreed, saying PSG won't allow that. And my question is, does Manchester United really need permission from PSG to speak to Poch? In this day and age, but we're talking about tapping up players. Back in the day, if you spoke to a player without agreeing with the club first, it was illegal. Clubs do it all the time now. I imagine it's probably the same with managers. Maybe not. You can let me know what you think about that in the comments. But Fabrizio Romano, confirming that the interview took place, went into a bit more detail. Said that during the meeting, Erik Ten Hag wanted to hear about United's budget and plans for the future. His English levels improved. He's ready for the Premier League experience. United will also meet other managers. The process is still ongoing. Now, that point there about the budget, I think is going to be an interesting one because typically when Manchester United finish outside the top four the season before, the spending increases the following summer. Now, we kind of broke that pattern by spending big last season on Varane, Sancho, and Ronaldo after finishing inside the top four. But I'll be interested to see if United continue the old pattern of history and spend big outside the top four because that would be a big boost for Ten Hag or Poch, whoever comes in, to really establish their squad. Now, here we've got Konstantin Eckner saying it, Daily Mail, we've got Fabrizio Romano, and let's continue going through because James Ducker weighs in. He indeed says the same story, that Ten Hag has been interviewed. But let's read this story in a bit more depth and what else he has to say. And let's zoom in a bit so you can see it. He said the Ajax coach is understood to have spoken with Manchester United on Monday. So that was when Erik Ten Hag had his interview. Again, that's basically been confirmed by everywhere else. There's a couple of interesting points down here. There is a firm expectation in Holland that Ten Hag will leave Ajax this summer, regardless of whether he gets the Manchester United job or not, which is kind of something that we've always talked about here on United People's TV. It feels like the Ajax project of Ten Hag has come to a natural conclusion, even without the Overmars situation. He's rebuilt that team from 2018-19 to do it again in 21-22. They failed in the Champions League, obviously, by comparison, but they're on course to win the Eredivisie if they can hold their nerve between now and the end of the season. Tight race with PSV. Let's see what goes on there. But it feels like it's come to a conclusion anyway, regardless of whether United are involved. But that bit there is probably the most important paragraph. If he leaves for United, it will be with Ajax's blessing, and it would only cost 5 million euros in compensation. That is pittance compared to how much we paid. We paid more than that to sack Solskjaer, more than that to sack Mourinho, 4 times more than that to sack Mourinho. 5 million? I'm fine with that. I mean, I don't really care how much it is, I'll be honest, but the club will be fine with that as well. Building on top of James Ducker, we've got Simon Stone. As per others, Manchester United has spoken to Erik Ten Hag. It's being stressed that it's part of the process and he is one of a number of candidates. And this really is the official line coming out of Manchester United. Like, United are confirming that a Ten Hag interview has taken place, but at the same time, United is saying, look, he's not the only person being interviewed for this job. And look, if Pochettino is not going to be interviewed, what, you're going to interview Luis Enrique, who's with the Spain squad? Is it different if it's an international team? Julian Lopetegui, are Sevilla going to allow you to speak to him? How are you going to interview anybody else? I don't know. You let me know what you think about that in the comments below. But Simon Stone weighed in, and then Dharma Sheth weighed in as well. Erik Ten Hag with talks with Manchester United were described as positive, and the club was impressed with the vision and philosophy. And the good relations with Ajax allowed the talks to happen. That bit there with the vision and philosophy, that's what Manchester United need. And for me, that's why he's a more ideal candidate than Poch. I explained it in my live stream this morning. Having listened to Poch speak quite a lot in my research video for, trying to understand the philosophy of Poch compared to Ten Hag, I wouldn't necessarily say that Poch has a philosophy. As a lot of his whole being as a manager is based on human interaction. It's based on emotion. It's based on trust. It's based on personal relationships rather than a philosophy. I'm not saying that Ten Hag doesn't have that side. He does. We spoke about his parents. We spoke about his family, how important they are to him. But Ten Hag's also got a real football philosophy. I think if in 10 years, if there's going to be a book written about one of them and their philosophy, it's going to be about Ten Hag. It's going to be about Poch. And that's the feeling and the vibe I get. But let's listen to what Andy Mitten has to say. Obviously, Andy Mitten, editor of United We Stand, the long-standing Manchester United fanzine. And this is what he had to say about the whole situation.
Well, there has been a meeting and it went positively, and Manchester United will complete a process where they speak to other managers. It's not just Ten Hag. I'm told that people saying that he's definitely going to be the next manager are maybe getting a bit carried away, and that's a little bit premature.
Right.
And I spoke to people in Amsterdam as well, Ajax fans, about Ten Hag. But from Manchester United's perspective, he's made a good impression in that first meeting, and I think that he would be a popular choice among a lot of Manchester United fans.
Yes, he would be.
But
he absolutely would be a popular choice. I was going to pull this up later, but I'll pull it up now. This from Gary Neville, sort of striking, really. Did a poll on his Twitter this morning. 127,000 votes now so far. And look at the percentages. Over 80% want Erik Ten Hag. Just under 20% want Poch. So Andy Mitten there speaking on Sky Sports. He's not wrong in saying that Erik Ten Hag would be a popular choice. He'd be the popular choice. Absolutely would be the popular choice. And I can't wait to hopefully see that. The announcement from Manchester United saying that a deal has probably been agreed in principle for Erik Ten Hag. Now, as I said, look, I did my live video this morning, but I know that so many of you enjoy these shorter videos because, let's be honest, not all of you have got 45 minutes in the morning. So that's why I do these short videos as well as the live videos to sort of serve both audiences. But look, when it comes to Ten Hag and when it comes to Poch, I've been as balanced as I probably possibly can be, whilst also completely wanting Ten Hag as our next manager. I've done two separate videos, one on Ten Hag and his philosophy and one on Poch. I know full well that all this from Fabrizio, all this from the Daily Mail, from Konstantin Ekner, Simon Stone, Darmish. Look, there's no smoke without fire. So much has been reported today and this morning about Erik Ten Hag, about the meetings and about the interview that he had with Manchester United. It's clear that United are really accelerating this process forward, and that's what we want to see. But at the same time, I know full well that Poch will probably be interviewed as part of this process. I'm not going to lose my shit over it. I'm not going to get angry over it. Look, United didn't have a process when we got Moyes in because Fergie recommended him. That didn't work out. We've got Louis van Gaal, probably out of all the managers, we probably interviewed, or there was probably more of a process of Van Gaal than there was for any other ones. Van Gaal to Mourinho, no process. It was just Mourinho. Mourinho to Solskjaer, there was no process. We had nowhere else to turn. We had to go to Solskjaer. The club's trying to change that now. So I can't begrudge the club for doing that, all right? And if there's one thing that we've done differently, the Ragnick situation, actually getting Ralph in, for me was a big change, a big positive change that United did. Now, hopefully, we can build on that by announcing a deal for Erik Ten Hag, because I think he's the right manager, I think he's the right fit, and I think it's the right choice. I've explained all of that in that longer video, which I would encourage you to go and watch if you haven't already. You know, they're the sorts of videos that I'm pretty proud of on United People's TV. The sort of really informed and insightful videos that can help people to make a better judgment on somebody. And in this case, Ten Hag, and in this case as well, on Pochettino. I've always maintained that Pochettino wouldn't be a bad manager at Manchester United. Would he be my choice? No. This man would be my choice. And as Fabrizio Romano said, Simon Stone, Andy Mitten, Dharmesh Sheth, who else? James Ducker, Chris Wheeler, Erik Ten Hag has been interviewed. That is done and dusted in the bag. Let's see how this continues to develop. But I hope this video has sort of given you a full story, giving you all the details about the interview and about the process of where Manchester United are at. Ten Hag, is he the favourite? Is the bookie's favourite? Manchester United are trying to dampen that. Say, look, we're still going to be interviewing other people. Let's not get too excited about it. And that's the state of play. Let's see if that changes and adapts over the next couple of days. But I really hope that we end up with that lovely, beautiful Dutch ball bloke as our manager. That's what I want. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. That's all the latest on the Ten Hag story. Make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. But I'll see you later.